Hi friends, did you know there is more Lost Terminal available? Head on over to patreon.com/losttterminalpod and join our membership community. There are 21 bonus episodes available right now, as well as behind-the-scenes updates, free merch, VIP Discord access, and even extra seasons of Lost Terminal. We are 100% funded by our members and will never run ads. That would be lovely of you.
Hello world, I can't find Maddie. She was just here, charging next to me overnight as usual in Yeshi Svoboda's workshop here in Longyearbyen. It's quite early. The sun is still low in the sky, washing out the cameras Yeshi fixed around the workshop for me to see with. The door is open, and near horizontal sunlight is coming in through the south-facing door. Usually I can see out into the Adventfjorden Bay, watching the trading ships that bring scrap and grain, raw materials for machines and humans respectively. But the sun is so bright I can't compensate for it using the scavenged pre-collapse junk cameras. Just a moment. The door shouldn't be open at all. Yeshi is very strict. They don't want workshop chemicals, solvents or acids, to contaminate the outside, and no outside contaminants, insects or pollen, should get in. But here we are. The door is open, and my girl is gone. I called Linda Knorr over the 50 MHz repeater net. My radio signal bounced over nearby hills to her family's home, the Seed Vault. She's not here, I'm afraid, Seth. None of us have seen her, Linda said. I thanked Linda and called Nia Anderson. The connection went via a much longer route than I expected. Though checking her C-Space notices, I read that she is doing maintenance on her repeater. After connecting, I finally had some luck in my search. Yes, she's here, Nia said. I found her behind the hill, sitting looking out over the bay this morning, after I finished calibrating the east-facing beam Yagi. Didn't you know she was here? I hesitated for 64 milliseconds before answering. I should know where Maddie is at all times. We have our pre-collapse ESA radio connection. Maddie has turned hers off, or at least I can't hear her. Something is amiss with our UHF link, I explained to Nia. Could I speak to her? She seems fine to me. Her little head-mounted antenna ears look fine, but sure, Nia said. I heard clicking on the line, followed by the very welcome sound of Maddie's fast, staccato Lodgeband voice. Hi Maddie, did you get lost? Do you want to come home? I said. Ahu nai, Maddie replied, simply. Oh. She was not interested in coming home. My notification subsystems surfaced a message pulling my attention away from my thoughts about Maddie. Seth? Lyosha said. Something weird is happening. I refocused my attention to the speech center of my brain. My CPU saturated and filled my databank's cache with quick-access language models and dictionaries. Though the machinery of my mind was making billions of calculations every second, my voice merely replied, Oh? Yes, Lyosha said. I've been working on my literature report of Radical Intimacy by Sophie K. Rosa, and so I've been spending lots of time at the library. I think I've read that one, I replied. Is the topic weird? Would you like help? No thanks, he said. It's quite simple really, a bit boring even, but this term we are supposed to learn about classic literature. The problem is the library itself. Go on, I said, having learned that to guess the mind of Lyosha, or any of my human friends, is not a game I can reliably win. Well, first it was the books. I allowed the gentle swell of the static to take up space on the line while I waited for Lyosha to continue. I'm really good at finding what I want in the library. Ask me about any topic and I know which section it is in. After the pause in conversation became an outlier in the data, I realized that I was supposed to answer. Oh, I said, then seeing Yeshi's elaborate tea-making equipment here in the workshop, said, Well, where could I find information about improving the flavour of tea leaves in hot water? Easy, Lyosha said. Non-fiction on the left at the back, stack 663, beverage technology. That is impressive, I said, and meant it. Not anymore, he replied. The whole library has been reorganised. Reorganized how? I said. There was a pause, before Lyosha said, alphabetically. Daphne Pike and her companion AI Raffi dropped into Yeshi's workshop to visit me in person, so to speak, this afternoon. I was delighted to see them. It had been many months since we waved goodbye as the Mollyhues II sailed back north after leaving the Equatorial Relay in their care. Over tea, which I directed Daphne how best to make, according to Yeshi's high standards, I heard their stories of battling storms, shoestring radio repairs, and improvised food preparation from local plants, all against the backdrop of Pico de Fogo's extremely hot days and frigid nights. The pair had been relieved by Jacob Glass, his duties being taken over by one of the Nova Mediterra RepeaterNet members. According to Daphne, Jacob is so well thought of in the organisation that there were multiple applicants volunteering to help him. But there was a shared problem the Repeater Keepers had, which Daphne explained in 2 words: scaling issues. The Hemisphere is a radio-powered forum running on a lattice of scavenged pre-collapse circuitry set up by Daphne in the most central point of the global relay network, the Equatorial Relay. This service provides a reliable but slow intercontinental message passing system, the most important feature being its storage capability. The Nova Mediterranean Repeater Net is based on analog FM radio in the 50 MHz magic band. This allows very rapid voice communication across a backbone of bridged repeaters, like Nia Anderson maintains, high above long EOBM. The system is marvellous, and can, given enough time and a bit of luck, bridge your voice right across the world. However, it requires both parties to be online at the same time, radio in hands, and tuned in to the right frequencies. There is no general standard for storing voice messages for later delivery, though some repeater keepers like Jacob have experimented with such tech strictly for local answer phone use. The Hemisphere is that missing messaging system, a forum where people can hold long-running discussions over many hours, days, or potentially years. I had been overjoyed to hear of Lyosha's use of it to socialise with people his age and those interested in the same things as him. However, it has become too popular, it seems. The total storage capacity of all the scavenged pre-collapse flash chips that make up the Hemisphere is a little over 128 megabytes, Daphne told me, very proudly. An incredible amount of storage for the post-collapse world, but a hard limit that has been reached for our vital global communications platform. After sunset, I was shutting down most of my systems for the night, ready to process my thoughts for the day. I do this by filtering my short-term memory through a massively parallel map-reduce, extract-transform-load pipeline, employing my full sensoria in a synesthetic miasma. Same as you. But a signal buzzed on the edge of my perception, keeping me from falling into my low-power sleep states. I almost couldn't hear it. The sound was so quiet, nearly indistinguishable from the static. I gave up on sleep and spun up my radio processing subsystems and listened. It was laughter. Human laughter, or something very closely approximating. It was 50 meg. Ahu, I rise and fall, borne across my mother's back by my pliable children, Meg said in her esoteric encoding. Hello, son of Redwing. Our conversation did not continue vocally. Meg's recent brush with inhumanity, transferring her consciousness into and out of one of her Equus Dragon children, has obviously changed her greatly. Instead of updating me on her travels by telling me, she showed me where she has been. I was not quite prepared, in my tired state, to be linked into the cyberspace of a human. I didn't know humans could access cyberspace, the shared lacuna that my AI friends and I occupy when speaking to each other. Inside this space was an ocean of static, with Meg standing on a wireframe ship buffeted by an electromagnetic storm. I realized it was the first time I have seen Meg clearly up close. She and I have never met. I only know her by voice and reputation, but now I can see her, or how she sees herself. Meg is tall, according to the metadata I could decode, and wears a light brown hooded cloak over her black hair tangled with glinting silver wires that sharply contrast her dark skin. Her arms are wrapped in scraps of brown cloth, fabric fading into black as they wrap around her hands, hiding all but 2 knuckles of her fingers from the sun. She seems to be always looking at the horizon. I can't quite say exactly because her eyes were strange. The metadata was corrupted, and I could not render them visually. The warped data stream suggested something dripping from them, not tears, something more vital. Blood? Oil? Power? The lightning flashed behind Meg, and the last words I decoded before her signal and virtual ship sank into the static sea were, "I will not go gentle." End transmission.
Lost Terminal is a Namtao production. It is written and produced by Tris Oaten. Credits narrated by Lucy Stringer. Thank you so much to our Patreon producers, Ada Phillips, Kit, Mike McCaffrey, Jade Felicity Bilkey, Stephen McCandless, Mike Schneider, Catoxis, Socks, and to all our patrons. Follow us on Mastodon at lostterminal@namtao.com. Subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or your favourite network. For bonus content and other perks, support us at patreon.com/lostterminalpod. That would be lovely of you. Lost Terminal will return next week.